President, I rise to speak also on the 100th anniversary of the birth of Ronald Reagan, and I am so pleased to follow my colleague from California who has been under the weather for a little while, and we're very glad that she's back. Madam President, I think all of us will have an opportunity to talk about one of the great presidents of the last century, and to mark the 30 years since Ronald Reagan's inauguration. When Ronald Reagan was elected president in 1980, America faced an anemic economy, high unemployment, and a sense of malaise emanated from Washington. But President Reagan never doubted America's potential was unlimited. During his second inaugural address, he said, "America can outproduce, outcompete, and outsell anybody, anywhere in the world." The Reagan Revolution was fueled by the understanding that given the opportunity, Americans would dream, create, and build. He also knew that the road to greatness was through an individual's effort, not through expanded government. So President Reagan set about reinvigorating the stagnant economy. He cut government spending. He reduced government regulation. He ended the practice of wage and price controls. He passed tax cuts for all Americans. He famously noted that government's first duty is to protect the people, not run their lives. The American economy responded with sustained growth. A new era of economic prosperity had been ushered in. Reagan's vision of the greater good also extended beyond our shores. He was a fierce advocate for freedom. With our Cold War adversary, the Soviet Union, imposing the tight grip of communism on much of the world, President Reagan launched a resurgence of American military might through the Strategic Defense Initiative. As he said, "Of the 4 wars in my lifetime, none came about because the United States was too strong." It was his firm resolve to negotiate from a position of strength that led to successful arms talks with the Soviets and ultimately to the downfall of the Soviet Empire. During his first inaugural address, he clearly stated where America stood. As for the enemies of freedom, he said, "Those who are potential adversaries, they will be reminded that peace is the highest aspiration of the American people. We will negotiate for it, sacrifice for it. We will not surrender for it, now or ever." President Reagan understood that all people, regardless of where they live, long for liberty and freedom. He believed that America was a beacon of hope to all the oppressed people of the world, a shining city on the hill, as he described it. As Jeffrey Bell wrote in the Weekly Standard, Ronald Reagan believed that people all over the world craved self-government just as much as Americans did. Even today, he is still being proven right. He said, "Concentrated power has always been the enemy of liberty." These words still echo in today's tumultuous times. We witnessed the poignant photographs of women in Iraq voting and joyously holding up their purple-stained thumbs. We are seeing marches in Egypt of people who long to be able to vote for the first time in a real election in 30 years. He also understood the importance of information in promoting freedom, calling it the oxygen of the modern age. "It seeps through the walls," he said. "It's topped by barbed wire. It wafts across the electrified borders." His words are as true today as when he uttered them. Freedom and individual liberty are America's greatest assets. They are the core of our national identity. They are the foundation of our economic prosperity. And these precious assets have been protected by the service and sacrifice of patriots in every generation from the beginning of America's history to today. Ronald Reagan understood and appreciated the duty we all have to preserve these American ideals. As he said, "Democracy is worth dying for because it is the most deeply honorable form of government devised by man." When President Reagan died in 2004, there was a spontaneous worldwide outpouring of grief and tribute that caught some seasoned political pundits by surprise. Throughout his political career, Ronald Reagan was underestimated by establishment political intellectuals of the day. He was dismissed sometimes by the media. But when he spoke, the American people listened, they understood, and they agreed with this down-to-earth but very profound man. And so did the world. We all remember him fondly and with great respect and are honored to have known him. Madam President, I yield the floor.
Madam President.
The senator from Oregon.